All right, I just got out of class today. Today is Wednesday. I want to say it's January 14th today. I just got out of class, and it was a good class today. It was a geek class, just hanging out with the homies today. This morning I just worked. I stayed at home and I just worked for a little bit. And my girl went and got her nails done, so I came out here and I did some jujitsu for a couple hours out here at VRMA in Hollywood Beach, Florida. And if you guys can do me a favor, just hit the like, subscribe, all that. If you could hit all that for me, that'd be great. I need some followers. But it's okay. I'm taking my time with this thing, and it's going to take a while anyway. So I just figure if I keep on being consistent, eventually, hopefully, somebody will show up. Otherwise, it's just for me, just for record keeping purposes, which is fine too. I'm happy with that. There's some value in that as well, so it's all good. But I think today's topic, the thing that I want to talk about at least, is having other disciplines other than jujitsu, and how maybe some of those things can help you out as well and be of value to you as well. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because today after class, I was walking out to the parking lot and I saw a couple of the homies from class out there showing off some stuff and talking about some tactical stuff. And man, that's one of the really cool parts about jujitsu is make it, like my last video, I'm talking about making friends. Like you're making friends that have value. These people come from all walks of life. I've met dudes that are doctors, plumbers, air conditioning guys. I've talked to dudes that are FBI, sheriff. I mean, these are people that are making contributions in their community. These are people that are taking care of their families, and these are people that that are happy to help you and happy to people. If you're stoked on something, you want to share it with people. And so if you meet a dude that's from the army and he wants to show off, his tactical skills, like he probably wants to share that with you, And if you're into that kind of thing, then that's a dope dude to get to know. Those are good friends to make, and those are disciplines that you can add to your life besides jujitsu. If you can add some tactical shooting, if you can add some kickboxing, some boxing, some judo, some wrestling, all this stuff is just going to add to your life and add to your skill set. And in my opinion, it's important for men to know this stuff. Now that I'm later in life, I'm in my 40s now, I realize, I wish my parents would have equipped me with some of these skills as a young man, because growing up as a man, you're going to face certain things that women aren't going to face, right? You're going to face things in childhood that are going to affect your self-esteem for the rest of your life. You get your butt kicked one real good time in elementary school, and some dudes don't come out of that, mentally in their life. Some dudes who fight a lot and get their ass kicked once, it'll humble them and it'll put them in place. That was my thing. I got into a few fights when I was young, and I was winning. I won a few fights, so I had a certain idea of what I could do in life, as far as that was concerned. And then I got my ass handed to me one time, and I thought maybe this isn't a good idea to do this anymore, or to to continue to be okay with fighting. And I grew up and I got beat up a lot too, actually, to be honest, before I ever was willing to fight. Because for a long time, when I was young, my parents told me, my dad told me, don't fight people, it's not good. Well, he didn't tell me that sometimes you can't do nothing about it. It's not your choice, right? Sometimes we don't have a choice about the matter as a young man. And so if, as an older man now, I realize that, and I realize that if it was me and I had a young son, I would equip him to be able to defend himself. Just as I would equip him to do his ABCs, just as I would equip him to do his mathematics, his history, his sciences. I need to equip him to defend himself and his siblings, his future family, and that is important. You know, there is something out there to fight for, and men need to be able to protect themselves and protect their families at the very least, right? That's what we're inclined to do. So, you know, if you're lucky, you have a father who knows that and who will help you with that from a young age, whether that's putting you in wrestling when you're young, whether that's putting you in jiu-jitsu, karate when you're young, whatever the case may be. Just something so you have a little bit of skills to defend yourself and be able to protect yourself. I think is very, very important. You know, now that I'm older, I have to do all this for myself. So I have to decide what things I want to learn, what things I have time to learn, right? I got enough stuff to deal with every day, right? And to be able to go and do all the things I want to do, it's just not possible, you know? I can't do judo in the morning, tactical shooting in the afternoon, and jiu-jitsu at night, and do that for 10 years, 15 years to get really good at all those things. I just don't have the time. And if I had the time, I don't know if I have the money, you know? And if I don't have the money, you know, sooner or later, I don't know if I'm going to have the body to continue to do those things, you know? I can't train 3 times a day like that. And if you're young and you start young in your 20s or sooner, or even in your 30s, I talked to a dude today. He's like, man, I just started jiu-jitsu at 38. I said, bro, I started at 36. Like, what's the difference? You know? Like, life is going to go on without jiu-jitsu or not. So why not be a black belt at 50? What would you rather do? Be a black belt at 50 or be nothing at 50? Would you rather start your tactical shooting today at 42 and be decent by the time you're 50? Or here you are at 50 and you still don't know how to shoot anything? Or you still don't know how to hit a throw? Or you still don't know how to throw a punch? Or you still don't know how to take somebody to the ground? Right? So life's going to go on regardless, guys. So let's take advantage of this little bit of time we got. You know, I'm not saying that it's the most important thing in the world. I'm just saying, if you're a man, you already know. You've already been put in a position at some point in your life where you've had to protect yourself or protect somebody else. So why not know what the hell you're doing, you know? Why not embarrass yourself? You know, why not just have the knowledge just to have the knowledge, if for nothing else other than just to pass it on to your kids, you know, or your nephews, or your nieces, or whoever, or your homies, you know? The dude I was talking to today, he came to jiu-jitsu because his buddy brought him to jiu-jitsu. Well, the dude that just started jiu-jitsu because his buddy brought him, the dude that just started was teaching the other dude tactical shooting. So in reality, they're sharing their knowledge with each other. And that's the importance of having friends, guys. That's the importance of having family that you invest your time and energy into, and friends that you invest your time and energy into. Not every friend or family member is going to be worth your time, but when you find friends or family members that are worth your time, make an investment. All right? Don't be selfish. Don't just be a friend when you need something. Don't just be a family member when you get into trouble. Okay? Don't do that. Because there's going to be a day where you got something going on and you want people to show up, right? You got a bachelor party, you got a birthday party, and You think you got all these friends and you invite a bunch of people and nobody shows up because you never showed up for them, right? That's what I mean. And if you're lucky enough to have a friend or a family member that is making an impact in life and has some skills that you don't have and wants to share that with you, then take advantage, guys. Take advantage. I'm out here paying an arm and a leg to learn. You know, I'm paying an arm and a leg to learn. If you have a friend or family member, usually you can get that for free, right? So take advantage, okay? It's worth it to learn different things in life. You never know what you're going to need in life. You never know when you're going to need to pull out something. You never know when you're going to need to use your judo skills. You know, you're never going to know when you need to submit somebody or just hold them until they calm down, right? So you never know what you're going to need in life. So the more you can learn, the better. The more skills you have in life, the better, right? So let's keep that in mind out here, you know, like let's cross train. Let's lift weights. Let's learn judo from the homies. Let's learn some boxing. Let's learn all types of skills. Let's learn the guitar. Let's learn how to play drums, you know. Let's improve ourselves in life and level up in life, because regardless, the time is going to go by with or without you pursuing something you have interest in. And that's just a fact. And the next thing you know, you're going to be 40, 50, and being like, man, I was thinking about it at 20 and I just never did. Could you imagine where you would be if you started at 20 and now you're 40? If you started at 15 and now you're 50? Imagine you had 35 years of guitar playing under your wing. How sick you would be. I'll never forget it. I had a homie growing up, and he was into instruments. His dad had him playing like the violin and all this stuff. All that stuff to me was like corny growing up. You know, I was playing basketball and sports, and his dad was a mathematician teaching him how to play the violin. And I found it corny, but we were still friends, you know. I didn't care that he did it. It wasn't, you know, I thought it was corny. I was glad my parents didn't force me to play the violin. Well, I was friends with that kid up until I was 13, and then I moved away. I went back to visit that friend at 18, and he switched from the violin to the guitar. He had been playing guitar for 5 years that whole time I was gone, and I hadn't seen him. This dude ripped on the guitar. He freaking ripped on the guitar, dude. Blew my freaking mind, dude. I'm not playing. This dude ripped at 18 on the guitar. And he didn't want to play the violin because everybody was making fun of him, but he did want to play the guitar. And that was just 5 years of guitar playing. I don't even want to know what the dude's like today. I don't even want to know, dude. The guy, if the commitment that kid made every day playing the guitar, I know he was playing every day because I know his dad made him. I know he's ripping, dude. And God bless him, man. I wish I started when he started. Now I look back like I'm the idiot, right? I was the dummy. I thought he was the dummy. I thought he was corny. Now I'm the corny one. So life will teach you lessons like that, and life will humble you in those ways, guys. So don't ever think you're too good for something, man. Go out there and put yourself out there and really try at something, you know. When I grew up, trying was corny, dude. Like, you tried at anything, dudes would make fun of you, you know. Like, oh, you think you're smart, oh, you know, because you tried at school, you know. And that's just the way it was, you know, when I was growing up, you know. And I never really had anybody to push me, you know. And I grew up kind of soft in that way, you know. I guess I grew up kind of soft that way. So in retrospect, you know, I wish I would have been pushed by somebody, even though I might not have liked it at the time. But it is what it is, guys. Just keep some of those things in mind, and how life will teach you some things, and it'll humble you. And be willing to diversify your mind, you know. Be willing to dive into some things that maybe you wouldn't, and be willing to start trying some things you always wish you had. Okay. But that's it for the day, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Next time I train, I'll hit this again. Peace.